When I was writing down the list of things I was going to draw, I didn't even know what this thing was called. It's called a party blowout, as opposed to annual Thanksgiving blowout sale. Yeah, or a blowout in a diaper. My friend just had a baby. I've got diaper blowouts on the mind. But yeah, this is a party blowout. Who knew? So, another development. Since I started this channel, I've been trying to figure out, I've been playing with my cameras, discovered that, believe it or not, my phone camera is the best one for the job. It has the best quality picture, and I have two very nice cameras. I have a Lumix and I have a Nikon, but the color was off. I had to like set it manually. Oh, it was a nightmare. And that's been going on for months and weeks. And then finally I said, I'm just gonna see what my phone can do. Oh my gosh, I was so surprised when I'm like, this phone does better than a Leica lens or a $1,000 digital SLR. Go figure. So I started using that. I started using my phone like I am now, but there was this one little glitch that kept happening, and that is the focus would continuously go onto my hand. And that's why it took me a while to be willing to share my channel with others, because it was like I'm still amateur in so many ways, the most fundamental ways. Can't get my camera to focus on my work. So this is kind of a test. It's the first video I'm filming where I'm using this little trick. So I have a Samsung Galaxy S7, and thanks to phone insurance, which I highly recommend to anyone, this is my third one, because the first one broke and the second one was lost, and I was able to replace both of them using my insurance, and oh my gosh, what a savings. I'm so glad I did that. But where was I going with this? Yeah, so I have a Galaxy S7. Oh, I went on a tangent. I have a Galaxy S7, and it's a great little phone. It takes very good pictures, but the video doesn't have a whole lot of features. So I tried a couple different ways. It wasn't really working, and then finally I went onto YouTube, as one does, and just the right search criteria, and I was able to find one guy who figured it out, and now it works. Now my it's not auto-focusing on my hand. I'm really hoping that's the case. I guess if it's not, I'll cut out this dialogue. All right, so now here, just while I'm doing this, it's really small detail, but these curls, you know, if you want them to, it's going in, so you want to indicate that the curls are going, you know, in. Anyway. Yep. Party blowout. So this is a classic, doing the edges. Curves are really where the nuances come. That's where a lot of the work happens. I'm going to do a really light one because obviously that's the top, and that's going to get a lot more light. So I'm just going to indicate an edge there, and then, you know, might be the wrong side, but I'm just going to, I've decided, because everything in art is correct, that it's going to be that edge. Okay? Okay. Droop's bad. Okay. Yeah, so what am I going to do with the side here? Let's see. Well, the light is hitting from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and darken up the darks here. And then logic should follow. Let's remove some of this. Let's do that reflective shadow. Give it a little bit more realism. So even though everything in art is correct, if you want to suspend disbelief enough that your viewer buys it, you have to kind of think about how far you want to take it. See how it looks a little bit more like, oh yeah, that makes sense with that, the way that I've done the shadows. All right, so if the light's going to be coming from there, and I'm going to take a little bit more off of here. And soften that top, because that's where the light is. And then give this, we're just moving it up visually. There. Moving up the light a little bit. And then to follow that, we're going to continue because it goes. So therefore, I'm going to take this out. Always make sure your erasers are not, corrupt. I had a corrupt eraser. How can I fix that? I could bring my pattern down to correct it. Well, that just dictated these guys being solid. Haha. Like in life, we shoot for a certain direction, but sometimes we go off the path, and it doesn't mean that the new path is any worse. It just means it's a new path. That's all it means. Don't be too attached to your imagined path, because we're making it all up as we go along anyway, right? Aren't we? I mean, every once in a while I think to myself, wouldn't it be nice to be a florist? Just making bouquets of flowers all day. My grandfather was a florist. My grandfather was awesome. He was an FTD florist in a very small town in upstate New York. And he was very well loved, and he just grew plants and made arrangements for everybody in town, from like he was the only florist in town, so he knew everybody, because if there was a birth, a graduation, a wedding, or a death, he was making a floral arrangement for it. All right, this is getting a little weird, but not that weird. Let's lighten some of this up. Got a little dark. That is the analog equivalent of Command Z. Yep. We used to be able to undo things. Back in my cutty pasty days, when I was doing advertising in the early 90s, when it was still cutty pasty and we hadn't moved everything over to computers quite yet, if you drew in something wrong on a photostat and you had to change it, you would literally take an X-Acto knife and you would scrape off the top layer with your blade. That's how we erased stuff that was seemingly permanent. Not if you knew the trick. I mean, you could only do it once, and then you'd have to redo. There was a lot of redoing stuff. There was a lot of reordering of photostats. The place I worked at had a photostat room, so we didn't have to go very far, but we still had to outsource our type. So we would send out our specs to the type house, and we'd get back a block of type, and then we'd put it through the waxer. Oh, you kids. The things that you miss, like smells, the smell of hot wax in the office, because that's how you put layouts together. Ugh. Those little things are what make memories. Now I guess it's the smell of Pete's, of coffee. For those of you not local to the Bay Area, it's the smell of somebody coming in with, you know, a cardboard 4-cup holder of coffee for everyone, people who ordered it in the office. That is the highlight of the afternoon. For us in Los Angeles, where I was at the time, the highlight of the afternoon was sneaking off to Pick and Crave. My art director called it Pick and Crave. All right, so right here, it's Pick and Save. Right here, we're gonna give that some depth. We're doing pretty good, but it needs to be darker on the bottom. And let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to give it that reflective shadow. It's really subtle, but you can still see it. It still does, even the subtlest of things can make a big difference in the end result, because a lot of what you view, it's kind of an optical illusion. Yeah, well, you know, this one's all right. This one I probably could have used a little bit of reference, but you know what? You know what it is. Here, let's give this a little bit of a shadow, because this paper goes inside the plastic tubes. We're gonna do, remember the layering? We're gonna make that lower on the Z-index so that it goes in. It's another optical illusion. And then let's clean that up a little bit. Clean up these smudges. And a little bit of these smudges here. All right, there you go. Happy birthday to you. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.